hope this video motivates you. For those that's thinking of getting started but haven't quite started yet, or those that's just dabbling in real estate, I hope this video motivates you. Once again, Musilo Talar, real estate developer, entrepreneur, real estate investor. I'm giving you today the actual factual numbers. 100% the factual numbers of a real estate transaction of a new construction property that we just closed a few months back. I'm going to run through all the numbers. I want you guys to see everything so you guys can know what you can potentially make on a real estate deal. Now, a little disclaimer. Some deals you probably can make more, some deals you probably can make less. These are just our numbers. Your investment style, your source of funding can also affect how much profit you make. So when you look at my numbers, this is our style of investing, our style of borrowing money, and our style of construction. You understand? So make sure you make sure you share this video with anybody who's thinking about getting into real estate, because this is the kind of information they're going to need before they get started so they can see what the actual numbers are. And listen, I know some people are going to be upset because they watch TV and they see that they do these renovation projects in a couple of weeks in high heels and looking real cute, but these are the actual factual numbers from somebody who's really out there investing in real estate. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of the property. I'm not trying to expose the family who lived there, but I'm just going to show you a couple of the pictures when the property was staged, and then we're going to go straight into the numbers. All right, make sure like, subscribe, and share. Thanks. Okay, before we get started with the actual numbers, I wanted to show you the property that we're about to discuss numbers on, so you can get a visual of what we're talking about. Now, these houses are selling in the mid 500s, so that's a good investment point for me. Some other people invest in lower or higher retail prices. So this is what this actual property is. Now, I will have other videos where we invest in lower, like fix and flips, or maybe even higher developments. So let's just take a look at the pictures, and you can see this is completely new. The stagers did an excellent job. It's, you know, a lot of detail. Let's look at this next slide. And the flow of the house is good. I got a lot of backstories that I can share with you guys about the property, but you know, just get a good visual. Really good open floor plan. So whenever you're selling houses in this price range, or just any price range, you kind of want to give the buyer a wow factor. Like when they walk in those first 2 weeks, when the house is on the market, you want them to say wow. So I don't put any house on the market that's not fully ready. You understand? Like, my house has to be fully ready before week 1, because in this business, you get mostly your serious buyers within the first 2 weeks. So not only having it 100% ready, also having it priced right. Because people like to play with prices in the beginning and think they can get an offer later on. But, you know, this house is only on the market 3 days. This house is on the market for 3 days, and the closing date was set for 45 days, because that's what lenders are requiring nowadays. So, like I said, when people walk in, I want them to have that wow factor, and I want them to say, this is nice, I want it before somebody else get it. All right, so I'm just taking you through just the master bedroom, master bathroom, just giving you a visual, and let's get ready to dive into the numbers, because I know this is what you guys are probably interested in, so you can see what your profit potential are on any deals that you may entertain investing in. All right, let's get started with the numbers. All right, y'all, let me show y'all some real numbers of a property we just sold a couple of months back. Now listen, this is a real, what you call ALTA, or some places call it a settlement statement or a HUD statement. But this is the document that you get when you buy or you sell property. Now, I'm going to try to go over some of the numbers, not trying to make the video too long, but I'm going to try to go over some of the numbers so I can let you guys see the real numbers. Now, one thing, and whenever somebody's selling me a crock of whatever, and I can tell it easily because I know the numbers. Like, you can't fool me in real estate because I know the numbers. This is probably, I don't know how many, maybe 100 closings I've done. So sometimes you see it a lot on TV, and they give you a couple of numbers, say they made this much in profit. But once you go through all of these numbers, you'll see the actual numbers and all the different expenses that have to come out before you see your total. All right. So let's start here. I hope you guys can see my mouse. Right. So here's the property. You see the lender, who's Bank of America. That's who the people that's buying our property. That's the bank that they chose to get their loan from. You see the date the property closed a couple of months back. The sales price, right? Oh, let me say this part. I gotta explain this like some people have never seen a settlement statement before. Okay, so you have the seller side, which is going to represent us. My buyer is the buyer side. So all the fees you see coming out of this side come out of the buyer's money. All of the fees you see on this side come out of the seller's money, which is us. All right. So I started off with this property because it's a nice mid-range property, and I'm going to do a video where I compare fix and flips to new construction. This is a new construction deal, so you can see $540,000, no, a little over $500,000 is a good price range. Now you see why I don't. I'll tell you at the end of the video why I don't want to invest in properties that's in the 200s or the 100s or something like that. But let me show you this now. So like I said, this is our side as the sellers, and you can see the seller side, right? So I'm gonna try to go back and forth on both. So $540,000 was the agreed upon contract, right? The seller paid a deposit of $6,000, and their loan amount was $432,000. The lender gave them a credit of $596. All right. We both have adjusted taxes, that $152 for both of us. Now, Bank of America, who is the lender chosen by the buyer, they have some loan origination fees. They have an appraisal fee because Bank of America, they never come out to see the property. They send an appraiser. So they have to pay that $532 to appraiser. Flood certificate fee, $10. Life of loan monitoring, $7. Paid interest. So sometimes you have to pay interest on your property. So this is being paid in advance. They even gave them a date from 9/6 or 10/1. So what they're doing is they're pre-rating their interest, right? So all of this is out of the buyer's money, right? And I'm gonna show you what's coming out of our fees. Now you see all of the red. This is, like I said, this is a real document, so I don't want to expose my buyer, and I'm trying to keep a lot of things private. You see here, I didn't blank out Bank of America because everybody probably have a Bank of America that's close to them. And I'm in Metro Atlanta, so you can see this is a county. So I'm not trying to protect the county or protect the bank, but I will protect the seller's information and the attorney's information and so on, right? So let's keep going. So now the seller is paying these other fees here. So we have lender's title insurance. Listen, I know some of you guys might not understand exactly what title insurance is, but it is something you need. Listen, I've been in a situation before where I bought a property and somebody built a fence on it, or they was driving on it, and because they felt like they've been driving on it before I bought it, or they had their fence on it before I bought it, they decided that property was theirs. And if you're going to get in this fight over a property line, that's when your title insurance steps in. So anytime you have an opportunity to get title insurance, I suggest you get it, because fighting over property could be a very lucrative experience. All right, let's continue with the numbers. So you see the title insurance is only covering what the lender is lending, right? So then you have the owner. So you have lender's title insurance and you have owner's title insurance. I suggest you get both. Now keep in mind, this is what the lender's doing. The lender is protecting himself or their self and the amount they lent right here, the $432,000. Now the owner is protecting themselves for the whole $540,000. All right. So that's what the title insurance is going to cover. The lender is covering his loan. the homeowner is covering their loan, right? So you got the settlement fees. These are some of the fees the attorney charge. That's why you see these big red blocks, because I'm blocking out the attorney's names. So this is what the attorney get paid for orchestrating the closing, right? Now, all of these fees on this side has been out of the borrowers, the buyers, right? So now we're coming down here to the real estate commissions. So this is the commission. Now, if you don't want to pay your real estate agents, you probably won't sell too many houses unless you got a marketing team that's going to market it in-house themselves. But on this one, I listed it with an agent. So my agent took a little bit less than the buyer's agent. So this $10,800 is what my realtor got paid. This $13,500 is what what the buyer's agent got paid. And usually it's about 6%, and they split it in half, 3 and 3. Sometimes you can get your agent to take a little bit less if you're giving her a lot of work, her or him. Sorry. If you're giving your agent a lot of work, you can say, "Can you list it for 2.5 or 2%?" I've done deals where my agent did it for 1%. Getting the buyer agent to reduce their commission. Sometimes they'll do it just to make the deal go through. Now back to some more fees over here. Now this is your government recording and transfer fee. So all of the deeds and all of the taxes you have to pay come out of the buyer side again. So you see a recording fee because now this is a legal transaction, so it has to be recorded with the county. Keep going. You'll see some banking fees. You see some taxes that you have to pay, and you see a transfer tax. Now here's another thing here's the payoff of the loan that we got from our bank and our lender, right? And you see I blocked their name out here. So they gave them a payoff up until this date. So you see the $305,000 here. I'm gonna get into some more numbers in a little bit. So out of that, then we had to pay some more taxes. The water bill comes out. The water bill comes out because a lot of whenever you buy and sell property, there's always some like over usage of utilities. So what they did now is they make sure they put it on a HUD. Like you have to call the utility department to get a payoff before the property could transfer hands. So you got a water bill that you have to pay. This consultant fee, this was due to me because I do a lot of design work that's separate from the deal. So this consultant work was here. Termite bond. Most of the time, whenever you're dealing with new construction or even renovations, they want a termite bond. They want a termite letter or a termite bond. Two different things. One is cheaper and one is just an inspection. One is a service. So on this new construction, they wanted a termite bond. Homeowners insurance, right? To insure your house. So you see that $1,271. That's the homeowner insurance that the homeowner purchased. Okay. So here you see all of the homeowner's cost. So even though the contract price was $540, they had another $9,002.33 in fees. Right? So if you go back here, you'll see all of these fees totaled up to be about another $9,000, right? So let's go back down where I was just now. Okay. So, and one thing you can appreciate is a good buyer. Now you see this right here where it says balance due from. So this $110,000 is what my buyers had to bring to the table. You understand? They had to bring that $110,000 to the table to close the deal. So their lender was probably lending up to about 80%, somewhere around there, 75 to 80%. So excellent buyers, that's what you want when you're selling property. But keep in mind, not everybody's going to be able to bring $110,000 to the closing table. Sometimes it's only 3%. But these buyers was really good buyers. They got qualified. And as you can see, they had a stash of cash to make the purchase on a $540,000 property. Now, I know you guys are more interested in our numbers. So here's the numbers on our side. So we sold the property for $540,000. You can see this 334 was our loan amount, which is here, which is what we paid what we borrowed from the bank, and these other fees that we incurred, taxes and other fees, is what made this 334. So now it says balance due 2, and that's our share right there, right? And I know a lot of people saying, "Oh my gosh, $205,000. Those are great numbers." You're right. On a $540,000 property, to walk away with $205,232 is great numbers. That's why people are interested in real estate. Those are the numbers that people would like to see in real estate. But let me give you the final picture. The final picture. Because yes, we did receive $205,032. I'm sorry, $205,232.10, right? But here's the final picture. What you don't see here is this. Let me move this up. Now, the $205,232. What you don't see is our down payment, what we paid to the bank. So you have to subtract this, right? Now, another thing that you don't see is the interest that we had to pay our lender, because they're not lending us money for free. So what we paid was about 6%, and this was a 9-month deal. A couple of months to get the permit, a couple of months, maybe, I think we built this house in about 5 months or so, and another couple of months to sell it, right? So here's the true numbers. This is the total profit. This $126,827. That's your final number that we can say this was a good deal. Now keep in mind, this is about 20%. This is about 20% of the overall sales price, which is excellent, because what you got to understand is that some businesses don't make but 10%. So if you can make close to 20% on a real estate transaction, that's great. This is why I like, who wouldn't? This is why I like new construction, right? Because most of the time you're doing renovations, it's a lot less of a sales price because it's higher interest. You don't want to borrow so much money. And even though the fix and flip may be a little bit quicker than a new construction, but I like the cleanliness of new construction, and I like to invest where I can see these kind of numbers. From the amount of work that I'm going to put in, the amount of time that I'm going to put in, I like to see these kind of numbers when I'm done with a deal.